Something not a lot of people know about me is that I like to knit. And I know that's a bit of a shock, and I should have prepared you for that news. I just feel like I need to speak my truth, you know? And because I like to knit, at any given moment, I have poorly stored, recently finished objects, a potentially unnecessary amount of whips, and a number of theoretical projects yet to be subjected to the harsh tomb of reality. Since I filmed my last knitting and crochet update video, I've had 5 finished objects. Also, if you are a frequent flyer here, you will recognize the all-knowing dumpster basket. We don't ask questions, we just do as the dumpster basket asks. The first project is a crochet bandana, and I have mixed emotions pulling this out right now. Because here's the thing, I love this. As soon as I finished it, it was right around springtime. I paired it with so many outfits, and I loved it. I liked wearing it as a bandana around my neck, and then also on my face. Head to face, interchangeable terms really. Looking at it now, it's adorable and I like it, and it was such a fun little easy project to do. And the reason I'm having mixed emotions is because I haven't really worn this at all in the past month, despite really liking every time that I wear it. So I just feel like I need to start wearing this more. I don't know why, but in my head, I feel like hair accessories are so much effort to style when the whole point is that it's kind of effortless. On days when my hair was a little bit greasy or didn't look too good, I just threw this on and I felt freaking adorable. This magnificent creature is a crochet dress that I will hold dear to my heart, and I will grab this first if there is a fire in my apartment. This was my first ever crochet garment, and it couldn't have turned out better. It really couldn't have turned out better. I wouldn't change a thing. The big lesson I learned from this piece is that knitting and crochet aren't all that different, really. As far as construction is concerned, I am going to continue approaching crochet wearable garments because, again, this was my first one. I intend to make more. This turned out so good. I can't wait to crochet more, especially for summer looks. It's just perfect, really. And I'm just thankful to know now that I had been overthinking crochet significantly, and now I know how to approach it in a way that makes sense to me. And it was just like an aha clicking in the brain moment. This is a very recent finished object. I finished this 2 or 3 days ago, and I have only worn it once. And I didn't want to take it off. I loved it so much. I normally get very hot at work, and it was a pretty hot day when I wore this. And I didn't really have issues with overheating. It was very comfortable, extremely breathable. And I attribute that to the yarn I used, the fact that it's a short sleeve crop t-shirt, and the stitch pattern. It's very lacy and very holey. And this is going to be a summer staple of mine. I really want to make this in a different color, maybe a lighter white-ish color. I don't know. And I did deviate from the pattern quite a bit when I made this, so I did add a twisted rib knit border to every single opening, which is not in the pattern. The pattern just has raw edges all the way around, and I just wanted something a little bit cleaner. And the thing I like about twisted rib knit or rib knit necklines in general is that they're stretchy, and I just find that to be more comfortable. When I do a raw edge on something, I just find that it's too stiff and there's not enough stretch to it. And when you do one that has a lot of stretch, it's hard to make it look clean and stretchy at the same time, which is why ribbing is a thing. I do love a good I-cord moment, but in this case, I'm just glad that I went with the ribbing. Next up, we have the cardigan that I have nowhere to store because it's so big. This is the campsite waffle cardigan, or at least a version of the campsite waffle cardigan. I deviated from the pattern a lot. Basically, I followed the pattern for the stitch type and for the amount of stitches to cast on initially. And after that, I just kind of did my own things. I love that it's full length. I like the slits that I have on the sides here. It's so cute. It's so cute. And I did wear this once on a really hot day just to fully test out, is it really a summer knit? Because it is made of cotton, but it's pretty heavy. This is actively heavy. It's multiple pounds. And I can say that it is not for hot days midday. This is a summer nights or a spring, fall, winter knit. I can see myself wearing it in most seasons, just not peak heat in the summer. It's just too heavy for that. And the other finished object is the sweater that I'm currently wearing. This is the Sibling Sweater by Laura Penrose. I made a black and white version of this first out of merino. This was made by the unraveled corpse of another scrappy sweater that I had. I had finished it a year beforehand. The fit of it just wasn't quite what I wanted to be. I didn't reach for it a lot. And ever since finishing this, I wear it all the time. It's a staple to me now. And the colors, They're so fun. It's hard not to smile or feel like cute and fun when I'm wearing this. Looking back at all these pieces, I'm just thinking, wow, these colors go really good together. Another thought I'm having is like, wow, holy stitch texture, Batman. This is crazy. I usually just do like normal stockinette stitch projects, but I wanted to make a point this year to dive into other stitch types and just get more unique and interesting with my knit pieces because I just have plenty of stockinette stitch stuff. It's just so exciting to see ideas come to fruition, and it's nice to take the time like this to really reflect on it because knitting and crochet are long-term hobbies. It takes a long time to finish a single project, and so it's really hard to see the bigger picture on a scale that large. So it's nice to get them all together. And one other really important thought that I am having is it is becoming very clear to me that I am getting better at knitting and crochet. I'm not trying to break my arm by patting myself on the back too hard. It's really important to me to acknowledge and appreciate that I feel like I am working hard in knitting crochet, and I feel like I do challenge myself to get better, and it's amazing to see that actually paying off. And a new thing that I started doing this year, getting to be okay with restarting and unraveling projects. And I did that with, I mean, aside from that one, I did that with all of these projects. At some point or another, I had to restart, unravel, fix. It's just a testament to how important it is for me to now continue this practice because I have enough items in my knit and crochet wardrobe. I don't need more. I don't need to crank them out as fast as possible. There's no reason for that. At this point, it's more important to me to start creating higher quality pieces, and I'm really looking forward to going back to a lot of my old finished objects and altering anything I don't like to the point where I like it, because what's the point? It's just sitting there in my closet not getting used, mocking me with its imperfection. This is just really nice because last time I did one of these videos, it was filled with so many failures. There were so many things that didn't go well that I had to fix. And it's really nice that this one can be a little bit more positive. That's it for finished objects. Really good roundup this time. Oh my gosh. Now in the land of whips, we're going to get into some more failure. The first one being, I've discussed this in the past, but I made this, a slip over, sweater vest, whatever you want to call it, sleeveless sweater, and the neckline was way too high, the yarn was itchier than I was expecting it to be, blocking did not improve anything. And so I just decided that this is going to be something that I will eventually unravel, but I have lots of yarn, so I don't really need to unravel it right now, and I can save that for another day. So I decided to cast on with some of that yarn again and try doing another slip over, but this time doing one that's a V-neck, because then that wouldn't have the itchiness issues that this one had, just being so close to the neck. And the second attempt at doing a slip over isn't much better. I did it too small. The bind off's too tight. The neckline is too deep, even though I wanted it to be a deep neckline. There's enough issues in this where I don't think it's worth finishing. I will use this yarn if it kills me. I will keep making slipovers until I make one that works. It's devastating to have them not work out. But it's important to admit to myself that I won't wear it. I won't wear it unless it fits well. Unless it feels good to wear, it's not going to be something I ever reach for. I still have a lot of this yarn left over, so I will probably attempt to make another slip over and maybe a sweater as well from it when I've emotionally recovered from the previous failures. The next whip to talk about is one that hasn't had much progress made on it since I last talked about it. So I think this is the Ingrid sweater by Petite Knit, and there's just something off about it. I'm not loving it. It's really early in the process to be saying that, but I hold firm. The yarn's not the issue. This yarn I'm really enjoying. It's Happy Place, which is a collab between Hobby or Hobie, however you want to say it, and Tony Lipsy from TL Yarn Crafts. And it's squishy, it's soft, it's the best of both worlds. I'm really enjoying working with it personally. I haven't had a finished object made with this yet, so we'll see how it ages and wears and if it pills a lot or if it holds up, I don't know. But working with it is really nice. But I'm just not loving how this is coming out. I think maybe I did a wrong size or something. And then I was doing the crisscross section, which a lot of people talked about, they warned me about, and my crisscrosses just look terrible. Like, they just look way sloppier than I want them to look, and they're not really well defined because it's back and forth. So the tensions, it's a whole thing. I don't know what to do. And so I should just not do it. Oh my gosh, am I just doing this right now? I guess I am. Okay. You're just gonna come off the needles, I guess. I have no idea yet what I'm gonna do with this yarn. I also don't know if I'll make another Ingrid sweater because I love the way it looks. I think it's beautiful, but I just need to figure out how to do that crisscrossing in a way where the tension looks good and it looks clean and crisp, because that's just not the case right now. So I think maybe I should just swatch with that crisscross until I really get it figured out in a way that I like it, and then attempt this again, maybe in the same yarn, maybe in a different one. But as you can see, this is the back neckline and it goes across. This is way too big. This is gonna have way too much positive ease. This yarn's gonna grow, and I've been told that this pattern grows a lot too by like everyone who's done it. So all roads point to unravel. Thank you for biscuiting my yarn, Pippin. It's very sweet of you. I feel like I should roll up this yarn before it just gets out of control and knots itself up. Too late. Okay, that's enough of the sad stuff. Mom, if you're watching this right now, maybe skip ahead a little bit if you don't want to hear about your sweater. Otherwise, you can keep watching. I don't care. I lost the dimensions that my mom and I talked about for the sweater I'm making for her, so I need to find those or take new measurements. I am going on a vacation this summer to Minnesota for 3 weeks, and I think this will be literally the only project that I bring with me on that trip. When I knit for other people, something that I've started doing for garments is I give myself a year, and that has proved to be an excellent strategy because it doesn't take me an entire year to work on something, but it sometimes takes a year for me to motivate to finish something. I mean, even the campsite waffle cardigan that I did, that took 10 months. Anyways, this will be, I can't remember the pattern that we picked out. It's a V-neck pattern, petite knit, something very simple that I can execute really well. It's gonna be pretty warm. It's made of the same material as the sweater that I'm currently wearing. And I just hope that I get the V-neck right because they're kind of tough to get just right. You know, V-necks, they have to hit in a certain spot to be ideal. So we'll see how that pans out. Please, please don't eat the mic, okay? I know Mary likes attacking the mics. Don't. This one's so expensive. It costs more than you did. Saving the best whip for last. This one, ah, I love it. I love it so much. This is the Arctic Lights sweater by Veronica Lindberg, also known as Kudavakika. And it's just awesome. It's my first all over cable project. I've done cables before. I think cables are something that seem really intimidating, and they seem more intimidating than they are. Yes, it takes a lot of thought to do it, but it doesn't take intelligence or skill necessarily. You just got to do it. Like, I don't know. This is the kind of thing that people would look at and they're like, oh my gosh, I could never ever do that, because that's what I thought when I first saw this pattern like years ago. A year ago? How long has it been out? I don't know. If I had seen this at the beginning of my knitting journey, I would have been like, no, heck no, will I ever be able to execute anything like that? That's crazy. But I'm doing it. Like, I'm not qualified for this, but we're doing it. So, you know, if you've been waiting for a sign, this is your sign to do an all over cable knit project. It's so fun. Oh my gosh. Like, just look, there's so many details. It's just, my eyes get lost looking at this just in the best possible way. Hi, baby. A major thank you is in order with this project. This pattern was actually gifted to me. You know who you are. I think the American pronunciation would be sorry, but I think it's sari, or like a shorter A sound in the Finnish language, because they did mention they were from Finland, just like Kudavakika. And thank you so much. This person was so sweet because I did not know that you could have wish lists on Ravelry. And so they reached out and they were like, hey, do you have a wish list on Ravelry? And I was like, no, I don't. Is that a thing? Oh my gosh. So then I just like put one together out of my favorite patterns. And then the next day, they gifted me this pattern. That's so sweet. I literally like teared up when I saw that message. So thank you. I'm having a blast working on this, and I've been thinking about you the whole time. I've just been like, oh my gosh, thank you to this person. Cause that was also like the kick in the pants I needed to actually work on something like this. I had wanted to do this pattern since Kika had released it, since she had been showing it off on her channel. It has been jaw dropping since I saw it. It's just, I haven't been able to get it out of my mind. I am currently making this actually out of a merino cotton blend, which is kind of wild for this pattern. I'm using the same yarn as over here. It's the Happy Place yarn. And I'm really happy with this yarn choice. Actually, I am holding it double. And the reason I chose this yarn is because if I made this out of wool, it would hardly ever get worn. It would just be way too thick because Kika likes to do a larger needle size. I think her favorite is around 5 millimeters. My favorite is 4 millimeters. And I do not like mohair. I really don't like mohair. And I don't like mohair alternatives either. I just like not having that in there in the mix. So it's really hard to get gauge without using mohair, hence me holding this yarn double. And I love the feel of this. I think that's it for my whips. I wanted to change the camera angle in between each section of this video just to keep it more dynamic, but Pippin is purring, she's incredibly comfortable, and I don't want to move so I can move the camera just to talk about the new section. So are you okay if we just keep it here so that she can stay chillin'? Or are you a heartless monster? So I normally don't talk about my like yarn acquisitions, but I have had a few additions to my yarn collection that I wanted to share with you and kind of mentally brainstorm what I should be doing with them. The first one being, this is a really interesting yarn. It's Mirasol. It's a cotton yarn from Peru. The original price was $22, but it was on sale for $17.60. I got this at Harriet and Alice, which is a yarn store in Minnesota when I was visiting with my mom. I had never heard of this yarn store before, but several years ago when I went to visit, my mom looked up a yarn store for us to go to, and it was just amazing. I really love the women that work there are awesome. They're super funny, incredibly knowledgeable, beautiful store, large selection in my opinion. And so now every time I go back to Minnesota, I go back to the store Harriet and Alice. The reason I picked up this yarn is it's really interesting. It's the first time I have ever purchased or had access to I think it's called a chainette yarn. And I got it in this bright cherry red color because I've loved seeing really bright red pieces. I just haven't been bold enough to actually work with them. So I don't know what to do with this. Something summery, like maybe a crochet tank top or like, I don't know, a t-shirt. If you have any specific pattern recommendations for something like this, I bought 2 balls of it, which is each one is 100 grams, which I think should be enough to make a tank top. Maybe I'll have to do a knit tank top just to use up less yarn. I don't know. Let me know again if you have any ideas. Another yarn from that same trip from Harriet and Alice, it's the brand Emma's Yarn, which I had not heard of before, but the women at the store mentioned it and said that they absolutely love it. And I've been wanting a bright red cherry pair of socks in my repertoire, which is why I got this. It's DK weight, but it looks pretty light, like it's a really light DK weight. And I think just to let the color truly shine, I'll probably do a more simple pair of socks with it. But it's going to be beautiful. This yarn is beautiful. It's very soft. I am really excited to work with this. Oh, and this was also a birthday gift from my mom. So when we went to the store last, it was just after my birthday. So she bought me 2 different skeins of yarn. So this was one of them. And then the other one was this. It's Rowan cotton. And this was $9 for 50 grams of cotton. Like, how magical is this cotton yarn that it's $9? I need to look it up. This must be incredibly ethically made or like something. It's got to have something going for it. Made with recycled denim and recycled cotton. All right. I'm not sure exactly what I'm going to make with it. Maybe a Sophie scarf because, okay, Sophie scarves had a moment when they first came out. Everyone made them. And I was a little late on the trend, but I eventually made one too just because it was very cute. Like the pictures looked really cute. I quickly learned that they're not very practical as a scarf. What I discovered a year after making mine was that it is incredibly functional as a headband. I love wearing it as like a wraparound headband. So I might make another Sophie scarf out of this and hopefully it's enough yarn. If not, I should look up like 50-gram projects that I can be doing with like a little nibble of cotton. I'm gonna stand by that word choice, I guess. The next 3 yarns, I'm sorry, Pippin. So those are my newly acquired yarns. If you have any pattern recommendations for something like this, it's definitely lighter than a DK. Between a DK and a fingering weight, somewhere in that range. Any pattern recommendations for this, please share with me. I'm not super sold on the idea of doing a Sophie scarf with this. I think it would be fun. So if I don't come up with anything else, I'll probably do a Sophie scarf. But if you have any recommendations for something like this, maybe a bandana pattern could be cool as well. Let me know. I have some yarn left over from 2 of the projects that I mentioned earlier. So the Rib Lace Raglan t-shirt and then my self-drafted crochet swim cover up. I don't 100% know what I want to do with this. I think I have like 3 balls of each, maybe 3 or 4. I'm not afraid to buy more, so if I come up with a project idea that I really like, I'll definitely buy more. I'm specifically requesting summer knit pattern ideas from y'all. I feel like I've seen everything and I'm just having a hard time deciding maybe. I don't know. I think I want to start doing tank tops. So if you have any tank top recommendations, either crochet or knit, I'm open to either. I should really just suck it up and try to do tank tops. I've been scared to do tank tops because I just don't know how I'm going to feel or look in them. But I've been terrified about other stuff and it's always worked out just fine. And if I hate it, then I hate it. I unravel and do something else. It's okay. But if you have any pattern recommendations, again, knitting or crochet, hit me up. They don't look bad together, but I'm kind of over stripes. Like I did a lot of stripes for a while and I think I'm striped out for a moment. Okay, and the last yarn to talk about is this Drops Cotton Merino yarn I got in this bright cherry red. I really love all the red that I have going on. Clearly, I'm in a phase that must be enabled. And I have a decent amount of this, so again, let me know pattern recommendations. I think with something this bright red, doing a full-on sweater would be like maybe a little bit too much. I don't know. Maybe I just need to like be confident and own it if I were to do a whole sweater like this. But I am liking the idea of doing like a t-shirt or something. I want it to be really summery. Once again, I am seeking recommendations. Thanks for watching. Hello, baby. What's this? What's this? No, no nibbles. So, how are you doing? I mean, we're always talking about me. Do you get enough sleep? You get water? Go for a walk? Oh, I need to go for a walk today. That's what I gotta do. And now we're back on to me. I'm terrible at this. Like, you gotta force yourself into the conversation, man, okay? I'll just keep talking. I have no stop. It doesn't end. It just keeps going. At some point, I'll just need to cut myself off.